Hello, welcome to Sunday Musicians Café for the 10th episode, and I'm really happy that this episode he will be with Francesco, a very good friend of mine. He will tell us more about what he's doing, and I'm really excited about this. How is your Sunday going for now? All good? Hope everything is working well. You can see me, you can hear me properly. Please let me know if anything, there is any problem technology-wise. And I've been experimenting different settings in the last few episodes, and I think generally this should be the best one so far. So far so good. Francesco is a very good friend and such a incredible human being as well, and he's doing a great job at college, and he will tell us more about this, and I really hope he has interesting things for us to learn about. He's a PhD candidate at the moment at Royal College. If you go to the website of Royal College, you can find his curriculum and what is he doing, but I think he will tell us today about his research and his life in college. Please give me any feedback. I was thinking also the other day, maybe one day I will do like a live recording just with me talking about this Sunday Musicians Cafe, how is it going, and just to receive any feedbacks as well on topics that you would like to hear about, and if you have any particular question or concern that you would like to for us, all the guests, to talk about. Let me invite Francesco for now, and let's see if we can have our relaxed chat of Sunday afternoon. Thought on John Mullen. Okay. Francesco.
Yes.
How are you?
Aha.
Ah.
Here I am. Good, thanks. How are you?
Very good, very good. So nice to see you on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes. Yes. We managed to do that.
Of course. Of course. How are you? All good?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. How are you? How's it going?
Very good, very good. Busy, but as the end of the year is coming, the academic year, you have less and less things to do, but teaching is going on, and some concerts as well. Greta says, great guest. Yes, indeed. Indeed, he's a thank you for the feedback. So where are you at the moment? In London?
No, I'm in Rome. I just came back to Italy yesterday. Well, Rome is my hometown. So yes, I'm here now.
Fantastic, fantastic. How is the weather there?
Here in London. Oh, weather is nice. It's nice, but actually also in London it was very nice these last days. So nothing change.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It might be hotter than in Rome, right?
Here, well, more than hotter, it's just more wet. The air. It's not very nice, but
yes, the humidity of Rome is is killing you.
Exactly.
You a coffee or tea, Tim?
I have my coffee here.
Nice espresso, amazing. I wish I could drink espresso.
Yes.
Now I drink only
Yes.
Americanos.
Yes.
I converted
No,
to the dark side.
no.
I converted to the dark side.
No, I like to be the Italian stereotype sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, me too, me too. But it's difficult to find a good espresso here. I think you know what I mean.
Well, but you have to make your own.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I'm lazy on that. So I don't have a mocha. So the mocha is the machine.
Ah, okay. No, then I understand. I understand.
That's why. That's why. So either I go with Nespresso, but it's still like I don't like it too much, the espresso ones, and or either I don't have anything else. So I should buy that machine. So okay. So as I was saying that you're a PhD candidate at the Royal College at the moment. And we met actually there. So I've been inviting many friends that obviously are in college. So that's why obviously we stick with that institution. But obviously, I hope in the future to have guests of different institutions as well. But at the moment, the majority of them are from college, and they are a good friend of mine as well. So I'm really happy to have this chat with you today. And tell us about your PhD research you're doing. You're doing a great job, right?
Well, I hope so. I don't, I don't know. I will not judge my own research, but no, I'm definitely interested in what I'm doing. So that's great. And yes, my research is on Friedrich Gulda,
No.
who was an Austrian pianist, and he was born in 1930, then he died in 2000. So exactly in the second half of the last century, was very active as a classical pianist, and is well remembered for his recordings of Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart, especially. So in the great German tradition of pianists. But the interesting thing is that, well, he had a brilliant career very young. At 16, he won the Geneva competition and started touring in Europe and in the world. But the thing is that everyone was kind of asking, what will he do in the after? Because he's already achieving everything that pianists dream to do in their career. And finally he went on jazz and he started improvising, and that was, well, kind of unexpected, especially in those times. Today it's starting to be more common.
Of course.
Thankfully, I think. I really like this kind of eclectic view and being versatile and doing many different things. But at the time it was very revolutionary and not well seen as something to do. So
no, definitely.
Yeah, it was.
In fact, I mean, the common idea that we have of Gulda is sometimes, I think it's wrong, or either is misinterpreted probably, or misunderstood, because it's like sometimes it's seen as an eccentric, right? Like choice of his own interpretations, right? But actually nowadays makes even more sense. As you were saying, probably he was revolutionary for the time, so he was anticipating what today would be quite normal to do, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what I want to try to explain in this thesis, like changing the view of how he was perceived in those years. He was often labeled as someone quite eccentric and odd, but he was just trying to find something that he didn't find in contemporary classical music. He always refused to play Boulez, Stockhausen, and all this contemporary style classical music, and he found the true modern music in jazz, which was what people were listening to. And what is interesting is that actually he listened the first time for jazz when he was in Geneva, the competition, and he was hosted in a family, and the children there were listening to jazz, and he hated that because he wanted to focus on practice. But then he started thinking, like, why are these people
musicians?
Sorry?
So his children are musicians?
Yeah, no, they were not musicians. They were just children who were listening to records, jazz records.
Okay.
And yeah, and he wanted to practice, so he didn't like that. But in the end, like he started questioning himself and saying, why do people listen to this kind of music instead of classical music now? And that was what his question always kept him trying new things. And later in his life, he tried to do what he called freie Musik, which is kind of free music. So improvisation without no rules. And it was really strange. There are some videos on YouTube that you can search if you want, and he's doing really strange stuff with a recorder and others trying to sing, trying to do strange things, but he wanted to explore. So, and then that kind of attitude is what I was interested in.
Yeah, that's actually very, very interesting. Even I didn't watch this video that you were suggesting. Probably I will, definitely I will do it because it's very interesting. And do you play jazz yourself, or were you into jazz?
No, not really. I mean, I started getting to listen more of it when I started this PhD. I wasn't really, I mean, I knew nothing before. I'm still very ignorant, but
I'm sure
and
you're much more knowledgeable than us, probably. 100%.
Well, I don't know. I mean, jazz is not really my field, but at the same time, I think that that can be also interesting, like to see how I come from the same environment, more or less. I mean, I didn't win any important competition as Gulda, but still I come from the same environment of quite, I mean, very classically trained pianist, etc. So I think it's interesting to look at his career from the same perspective he must have lived it. I don't know.
Yeah. So when you say this freie Musik, so it's German terminology, obviously, but you think that spread throughout the world immediately, or it took time to kind of absorb for the music environment this kind of new approach to music?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, it definitely took time, and I think that these kind of experiments didn't actually lead anywhere for his career. And in the end, he kind of, after 20 years he spent doing this experimentations, he then stopped and went back to his own compositions and jazz style things. And because, yeah, it was very extreme, really, for that time, especially, it was very extreme kind of music. And it was, and I mean, it's not surprising that not many people follow that at the time. Though today it's becoming much more popular. I mean, to have classical pianists who then go and do other things. And I know people at college who was also very interested in, I don't know, DJ stuff, for example, and they come from a classical environment. Yeah. That's crazy.
True, absolutely true. Nowadays, musicianship is much broader concept than what was before. So with your musicianship, you can actually try to reinvent yourself in many other ways. I mean, look at me, for example. This podcast is nothing to do with the violin, but obviously very music related, right? So it's still on my creativity side. But when you say, sorry, my ignorance, completely ignorance, but I think I really need your on this. But when you talk about interpretation of Guldas, you also talk about, because obviously you said that is improvisation, right? Based on improvisation, like free improvisation. But did he ever brought any actually suggestions or rules on his own style, or did he left something written down, or?
Yes, kind of. I mean, he didn't write how he would improvise, but he left a lot of writings, and that's why his figure is also very interesting, because he had a diary where he kept a record of all the concerts that he did during his life, and that's great having that when doing a PhD. And also he wrote a diary with his own thoughts on music, and it's clear that at some point he got so interested into jazz, but also coming from the German tradition of classical music, which is a very big tradition, of course, he kind of wanted to merge these two things and trying to put the jazz idiom in the classical form. And in fact, in his own compositions, he often wrote, I don't know, a prelude and fugue, and then a sonatina, and then concertos, always trying to bring the classical side, but also the jazz language to that. And there are often bits of his compositions which require improvisation. He would write, I don't know, some chords, and you are supposed to improvise on that.
I see. That makes sense. Did you try out some of them?
I did, but very privately, because I'm still very shy of what happens when I try to improvise. That's crazy how classical musicians, I mean, at least me, but I think that it's not only me, but it's quite common to be quite scared of having to improvise when you come from a classically trained and you're used to read the score.
I saw the other day, absolutely, I completely agree. I mean, when I don't have a score, I'm lost. Basically, as classical musicians, we are lost. We are not able to. But I actually think it's more kind of psychological. Also, is maybe we are not used to it, because obviously in the past, people, they were used to do improvisations like cadenzas. Obviously, cadenzas, they were like improvised. I saw the other day a video of a cellist here in London. I think he went viral, super viral, and he was. It was a video, like edited video of himself playing this Haydn concerto for cello. And he improvised completely on stage the cadenza, and he recorded himself, and like saying, you know, like the way the videos are nowadays, where you put like like the text where you explain what you're thinking and stuff. And it was like, wow. I mean, I was like, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that. And honestly, I would
No, 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 no.
stop playing because I would run out of ideas, and then really we are not used to it. You think it should be mandatory for classical musicians to have classes of improvisations as well? Or you think it's not?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it should be mandatory, but I would highly recommend that to everyone and to myself because I never had improvisation classes and I'd like to actually.
I think
Uh,
Guildhall, you know Jose Songel. Jose Songel was the
yeah.
French pianist as well. He studied in Guildhall, and he told me I think there is a very important pianist, which is Roland Nojora, and I think he's called like this. And he's very good on improvisation, and he gives classes in improvisation. And he told me that once he had classes with him, and it was like mind blowing. I mean, it was incredibly good. Yeah. Yeah. But still, there is a lot of practice behind improvisation. It's not just being able, just like a button that you switch and you improvise. You actually have to learn how to do it, and I think it's very tough. Well, I mean, I wanted to ask you something about the PhD as well. How do you balance? Obviously, because sometimes we think that doing research takes time out from the practice, obviously, right? And that's partially. Obviously, it does. And so, how do you balance this? Because you keep doing concerts, so I want to know how you do it.
Yeah, how do I do it? I don't balance. I don't know. No, it's really tricky. It's really tricky, and I don't know. I am unfortunately I'm not a very organized kind of person. I do things very last minute, and sometimes in the end they turn up good anyway. But I don't know. It's not very healthy, probably for myself. But I think there are really periods. There are periods in which I'm more busy with concerts and learning new repertoire, and so I spend more time at the piano and I put my PhD a bit aside, and other periods in which I can focus more on that. And yeah, so it's not really a balance I find in my daily life. It's more in periods and really depending on what's going on.
I see. How does actually, sorry for my ignorance again, but how does a PhD works? I mean, you have deadlines or research to deal with. I mean, I guess you have like papers and stuff to submit, right? How does it work?
Yes. Well, it's just actually you have to submit your final thesis at the end of that, and it's like 3-4 years long generally. There's just one exam at the middle. It's a transfer exam, like to see if what you're doing is actually doable in the remaining time and how it's going on. But it's just that, which is great or not, depending on, I don't know. I find that good that I can organize my own work, but sometimes I'd like to have more strict timetable. You know, just because I'm not that well organized, and it's difficult for me to set my own schedule and my own how do you say that, like when something is due, and
daily routine. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's yeah, definitely it's basically on your own. I mean, they give you the time that you need and you decide on your own path, right? So well, actually it can be it can be helpful for some people, but as you were saying, it can be also difficult to manage. Obviously, yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. You're doing concerts at the moment. You're playing concerts.
I am. Yes, I am. Luckily, I have a couple of concerts in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And so yes, I come back to Italy quite soon this year because of these concerts, and looking forward to that. But it's more chamber music, which lately I'm discovering I like it more and more. So I'm spending a lot of time playing with other people, and that's great. Even because as a pianist.
Sorry, you were saying, yeah.
Oh, sorry. No. Oh, yeah. No, I was just saying that as a pianist, we're always kind of bullied because we're always alone and spend a lot of time in a practice room without doing orchestra or chamber music or anything. And then I'm also doing a PhD, which is even more lonely. So chamber music is kind of the solution now.
And now for you is the antidote not to feel alone.
Exactly.
Which is good. I think I'm the same. I'm honestly, I mean, as a string player, obviously, you were saying that we go more in orchestras and chamber music normally, but more and more now I'm discovering chamber music as a really nice way to perform and to know people. At the end, is really about knowing people and good musicians, and the synergy that you create with other people is so unpayable. I mean, and is obviously very much enriching as an experience, chamber music. And you're playing chamber music in Rome, and you I think with the Avos project or alone.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm doing a chamber music course there. It's what is this academy in Rome called Davos Project, and
Can you tell us about?
they,
Can you tell us what it is
yeah,
and how is it going? I saw many things on the social media. So.
yes. Well, it's really cool because it's very new academy. Like it was less than 5 years that it's there, but it already has many wonderful musicians there, both among the teachers and the students, and they organize many master classes and concerts as well. And what I'm doing is you could apply with your group or as a soloist, and that's what I did. And then they put me in a chamber group, and I've played some quintets there. Even because it's a bit easier with quintets, you can have the quartet rehearsing on their own, and then I can join at some point. Because since I'm in London, it's not that easy to carry on a chamber group in another country.
Makes sense. I mean, but at least you have the opportunity to play many pieces, no? Many different repertoire.
Yeah, no, exactly. And as you were saying, I have the chance to meet people that are coming actually from around Italy and the world to this academy, and it's been a wonderful experience. Like, yeah, I've in one of these concerts in the next weeks I have to play the Trout, which I'm really looking forward to it because it's a wonderful piece.
I love.
And yes, and yeah, and there's like we're all coming from different parts of Italy, and also I mean there's one guy coming from actually South America, so is really a nice experience when you mix with other people who come from different backgrounds and different musical experiences, and you can share your own views on music and what you're playing, and that's really enriching. As you were saying, it's great.
Is it like a proper academy, so you receive coaching, or is just a place where you can meet people and play, or you receive coaching?
No, you actually have lessons. Yeah, you receive coachings. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. The founders are Italian from Rome, or they are international?
Yes, no, not all from Rome, but yeah, they're Italian.
They're Italian.
They're basically most of them play in the Orchestra di Santa Cecilia, so in the main orchestra we have in Rome.
Wow.
And so that's where they met and they started organizing things together.
Have you ever played with Santa Cecilia?
No, with the orchestra, no.
No, I mean, maybe one day you will. I mean, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
So how often actually you go to Avos project, let's say?
Well, quite often when I come back in Rome, which unfortunately is not that often though. Like I'm here mainly in the holiday period, so for Christmas, Easter, and during summer, and then sometimes during term time I try to come back 1 or 2 weeks to do some rehearsals, some lessons, and if there are master classes.
I see.
But flexible.
The approach between Italy and England specifically, because you have been living in both countries and you're traveling all the time to play. Do you find different approach either in the kind of music making, so the way we make music, or the audience as well? The audience, you find different kind of feedback from the audience, or which are the main differences that you would say, okay, these things are clearly different and I need to change my way of playing or my way of being as a musician, right?
Yes, well, I don't know. I don't think I really changed my way of playing or being. It's not that big difference. I think that generally speaking, in the UK, there's more. I mean, they like a lot different things. So if instead of going with the canon, if you explore new repertoires, which are not often played, it's very much appreciated, and it's very common. I've seen it doing it many more times from musicians to speak a little bit before concerts and explain what's happening and create this kind of relation with the audience,
Yes.
which is very nice. In Italy, I mean, some do, some don't, but I find it a bit less common, maybe.
Yeah. Do you think this is because the audience is more kind of traditional, or because we are not used to it, or it will arrive there one day?
I think it's both. I think it's the audience more traditional, but also the musicians. So, but I mean, it's just changing approach. It's really different already from how it was some years ago, and in the last century, the way they had recitals and concerts was much more formal. Now it's becoming
Yes.
There's much more relation between the performer and the audience, which I like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then I find it a bit strange when I am told that I should suppress my coughing when I'm listening to a concert, because I'm like, well, if I need to cough, I mean, it's just natural.
I absolutely agree, and also, like, for example, the clapping between pieces is something that, I mean, honestly, I don't care at all if someone is clapping. Even, sometimes, like in operas, in operas, it would be very normal to clap during a nice aria, or the peak of the virtuosic piece of a singer, right? And I mean, it could happen the same way with a performer that is playing, I don't know, something virtuosic. I think about Paganini or Liszt, and you did the passage like in such beautiful way that people are prone to clap, and it means they are enjoying, and I don't find it disrespectful as it would be in the traditional. No, I think you've been playing in the auditorium, which I was managing last year, and one of our policies is actually that the audience get to know the artist. So during the aperitif, during the chat, and I want the artist to stay with the audience and to chat, and to talk about the music, to talk, and obviously it happens more and more nowadays, but I think there is still kind of a taboo that the artist has to disappear, and you don't see the artist untouchable, and the only thing you can ask for is a signature, or a picture and stuff, but you cannot speak with. And I don't think that's correct. I think it should be much more close to the audience as well, and the audience vice versa, right? Yeah. So how long is the PhD still? For how long?
So, well, I still have a couple of years more.
Okay. So you're halfway, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know if, very weird question, but do you know if Gulda went to Italy or Rome? Yes.
He did concerts. Well, in the last part of his career, I found this information. I was very, very curious. He was starting to do some things with also DJs and dance music. It was quite crazy. Yes, and he would mix Mozart with dancers on the stage. And at some point, he asked a theater to remove the seats so that people could dance, but they denied that. So yeah, it was. Yeah, no, it was really great and a bit crazy, but yes. And yeah, but this theater in Rome, they said that they couldn't do that, unfortunately. So he had to adapt.
He went to the wrong place. If you ask maybe in New York, or in some places in England as well, they would do it. I mean, if you pay, everything. Wow. That's so it never happened actually. It was a suggestion, but never happened.
No, it didn't happen on that occasion. I think that in a few concerts he managed to do that, but unfortunately there's not much recordings of these late concerts, so there's not much information. But yeah, I found this kind of how do you say, like the man who was in charge of this theater saying that in an interview, and that was quite funny.
Yeah, that's funny, actually. That's funny. Which are your main source of information for Gulda? You use library books or websites?
Well, I use both, but I use books, his diaries are my main source, of course, because it's primary source, so what he actually wrote.
Okay.
And also Royal College of Music is great. There's a library with a lot of stuff there, and then in London the British Library is one of the biggest in the world, so it's actually
So you have diaries, basically. You can have access to his diaries.
Yes, they've been published.
Ah, okay. Well, basically, are they public, or I mean, everybody can read them, or?
Yes, there's good.
What's happened?
Yeah.
Sorry,
all right.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes. It's all okay.
Okay.
You were saying the diaries are public, right?
No, yes, these diaries are exactly published. So yeah, you could buy them. And then there are some other things that are private still and in an archive, which I hope to visit soon and look at that stuff as well.
Nice. Okay, so this is, I mean, I wish you the best, because I actually am very interested to this research. I was very ignorant about Gulda, and you're making me very curious about life. And
Great.
I mean,
that's what I want.
I really love the idea of taking out the seats and allowing the people to dance. That's incredible idea, actually. It should be done. I will try my best to do it. I can try. I mean, actually, it might be very logistically, it might be very complicated, but yeah. Well, let's see. Okay, so do you have any suggestions? I always ask this at the end of the chat, which I hope you enjoyed, and also our audience. If you have any key suggestion or tips that you would like to give to the new generations of musicians, to the future.
Oh, I've become so old. Now I must give it. I don't know. Well, no, I'd say to listen a lot. I mean, that's maybe something that it's always said, but listen to a lot of music. I think that's the key, and share it with other people. Like we were talking about chamber music and making music with others. I think that one of the things that helped me grow a lot as a musician was just having run-throughs of pieces with friends and playing for them, and having them playing for me, and sharing our views, and that was very, very enriching. So I'd say, yeah, listen and share music.
Fantastic. Really nice comments and suggestion for us. And I do believe the same. And I think thank you very much for saying this, because sharing and listening to music is probably the key. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, exploring different genres. I don't know.
No, I mean, it's really important. I mean, it's probably to keep the fire burning. I think that's the best. Yeah, you're right. Thank you so much, Francesco. You've been an incredible guest as usual, an incredible human being. I hope to see you soon in London, and maybe in Rome one day to play together. Very nice. And I will have a look at this house project. It looks very interesting. And yeah. And so thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest at Sunday Musician Café for our 10th episode, actually.
Wow. It's going on well.
I'm really honored to have you as a 10th guest, because you're incredible.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It was really nice to have this chat with you and people listening.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and hope to see you soon, Fra.
Yes. Have a nice Sunday. Have a nice summer. Ciao. Bye. Thank you.
Ciao. What a wonderful guest. Francesco is incredible. It's so humble at the same time, and so much hardworking, and he's doing such a great job in college. I know this because I talk to people, and I see that Francesco is giving a lot of good insights for this research about Gulda, which I didn't know actually that well, and I think it should be taught more about this. And what wonderful suggestion to listen and share more music he gave us at the end. And I totally agree with him. Well, thank you so much for being here at our 10th episode of Sunday Musician Café. And yeah, please give me any feedback that you would like to if you would like to give any feedback and leave a comment on the clips that they are going out next week. And yeah, see you next Sunday.